And we got a couple guests from the West Coast here, everyone. I'm not even going to spoil it. You guys go ahead and introduce yourself, man, and let us know what you guys are up to.
You
Well,
first?
I'm Damian Lee Tyner out of Lake Havasu, Arizona. Solo artist, also guitar player and singer of the Dirt Boys out in California, the Mojave Desert. And, here to talk about some music and some songs.
Yeah, I love it. I love how it's still daytime there, man. It's already dark and shit here, you know.
Oh yeah, we have a little bit of sunlight left.
Yeah. Well, introduce yourself, Dangerous Doug.
Well, you know me. I've been around with the RFL Records thing, and all around little sharer of all things cool on the
Yeah.
socials. If the way it is if whether you're big or small, if I like how you sound, I'm sharing you to the world. I don't
Yeah,
care if
baby.
you're with a label, without a label, with another label. It's just something I do, and I like doing it. So
No, I'm with you there. The music has saved my life. We brushed on it a little bit there on this afternoon's interview we just finished up on like how much it saved my life, you know, just or saved my day in that sense, or saved that moment in time, right?
Yeah. Music's been a big one for me, man. It's the one thing that's always there, no matter what.
you guys don't mind me. I'm working on tagging people as we go here. So if you see me
Oh,
looking down at my phone, I'm trying to wake everybody up and tell them to come to the party. You know.
yeah, I hear you, brother. My computer just crapped out, or else that's kind of what I would be doing too, because I could run the two screens and stuff. But I'm doing everything on the phone now, so
I got it. I got us all covered right now. If you
right
guys
on.
if you guys want me to tag anybody in particular, just shout it out. I got this.
All right, I'll come to me as we go. But well, we got you on the show, brother. Let's talk a little bit about some tunes that you've been doing and shit, man. Speaking of music.
Yeah. Well, I've been doing a song. Just had a song released here January 20th called "Purple Flower," and it was a song, 13 kind of years in the making here to hit the public eye. Uh, the song was written back in 2011, right into 2010, started 2011. A good friend of mine, Lauren McLean, who I know is Ginger, she was murdered out in the Mojave Desert, and it was a very tragic sort of thing. It was my best friend and brother's wife. Uh, um,
Oh,
so it hit me hard, and there was a big funeral, and I got inspired to write this song in memory of her. And my band, the Dirt Boys, out in the Mojave Desert, out there, 29 Palms, California. We started playing the song at every show. We did hundreds and hundreds of shows, and we played the song at almost every show. And and so I met Doug here, kind of segue into that at a show called the Desert Scream, or Operation Desert Scream. And I gave him a CD with an old recording of it, and he heard it live, and we kind of started going back and forth about it. And he introduced me to Jeff Westlake, through online, and we started trading tracks off, and lo and behold, it became a song and a release. And it's been doing pretty well, it's getting out there. Me and Doug recently talked with my good friend Richard, her husband. You can check that out on my YouTube, and the song's been making good traction. It's kind of playing on radio stations, around the world. It's popping up, and
that's awesome.
it's really big because it helps remember somebody that I really cared about, and it's a very deeply emotional song. So that's kind of been the big thing going on in my life here
Yeah.
recently.
Wow, it just goes to show the power of music. Like you poured all those. It's almost a way of grieving in that sense, you know. to get it out there, and then to see how everyone else, it's an emotional song for them, for even the people that hear it, you know. So that's it is like I added played while I was doing dishes in between shows here tonight, man, and I didn't bum me out, but it put me in a different frame of mind. Like it totally changed the mood I was in, and I don't know how to explain it, man. Like,
I can tell you this, Damien. You did the open mic almost a week ago. It was last Wednesday, and I'm sitting there. I knew you were going to do the song. I mean, we had just sat down, the three of us, or the four of us, and you introduced me to Richard, and we got to hear his story, and I got to see this guy. I mean, this guy you've been telling me about for quite some time now, and when you guys went into that song, and I was standing like kind of catty corner behind Richard, I almost teared up, and
mm,
I wouldn't have given a fuck if I did. You know what I'm saying? Because number one, I'm holding my camera steady, recording it, but I don't know, that emotion just like blasted me right in the face.
mm.
Every time I sing that song, I have to fight down that lump in my throat.
I was gonna ask you, like, when you perform a song that's so personal like that, I imagine every time you do it, it's just so powerful and stuff. But how do you, like you said, how do you hold back those tears when you play that song, or that emotion enough that you can portray it to everyone else without breaking down? You know,
it's kind of a endurance, like you just go, all right, it's hitting it, I can't stop, I got to push through that feeling. And sometimes I just yell a word a little bit louder or something to just push through it. It's definitely an exercise in endurance. And my music kind of started off as being a therapeutic sort of thing for me. I went through a lot of crazy dark things throughout my life, and and that's just what I channel into my music. I just, I don't know. I was never able to write like poppy, love songs. I always wanted to talk about the deep and dark and big picture sort of stuff. And that's Purple Flowers, just another one of those things. It was, an extremely tragic and complicated sort of situation that it had to become a song. And and I have to fight back those emotions a lot. I do tear up sometimes. I fight down lumps in my throat. I can feel my hands shaking and my body shake when I'm playing. It's definitely emotional.
Yeah. Now, after a song like that, is that like the end of the set was when you play that normally? Like, because you said you play at every show, or like,
no,
what would you follow that up with? You just get so wrapped in the song and so emotional. Like, what would you
I generally don't start out with it. I will say that.
No.
It's definitely I don't have a whole lot left after that song, but it gets put in random places in the song. It's just kind of when I feel the moment's right. I'll just, I'll pull it out, or maybe I think about her or something. She used to come to our shows, back then, and sometimes I could still hear her voice cheering out there, and in my head, so I don't know. Sometimes I'll just think of that, or Richard, her husband, he comes to a lot of our shows over the years, and it'll come up and we just play it. Sometimes it's not even on the set list, and we just play it,
Yeah.
I have a feeling this song's permanently on your playlist now, though.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is we sit here and we're talking about the emotion he's talking about, and obviously you can hear the emotion in his voice, but he beats the shit out of his guitar on that song.
Yeah.
Especially this last time, you're like, oh, I think you even made a comment. You're like, yeah, I kind of beat the guitar
better.
Yeah, we went and played in Joshua Tree. My good friend Ted Quinn resurrected an old open mic night they used to have in Joshua Tree, California. Used to be a big gathering spot for all the musicians back in the early 2000s. And it went away for some number of years. And recently it came back. So I traveled out from Arizona, Lake Havasu out there to guest host it. And my band, the Dirt Boys, showed up, and Richard, her husband, was there. And, we did 3 songs because there were other people playing. And I put it all into that last song. And then they were saying encore, encore. So I had to retune my guitar and everything. It was all, and then played a couple more emotional tunes on top of that.
You should have seen
the performance is on YouTube. You can check it out on my Damian Tyner YouTube page. It's on there now.
The look on your face too. I saw you look down at your guitar, and you kind of had this oh shit look on your face.
It wasn't, dude, but not anymore, baby.
Yeah, it was it was my Charvel with the Floyd Rose, so it was all out of whack.
So, Doug, man, what's new with you, brother? I haven't seen you.
This is kind of it. John and I with RFL are kind of revamping and turning just making some changes, and this has awarded me a lot of time to. I decided I wanted to start doing my own thing with partnering up with Westlake, right? So, this guy here happens to be our first endeavor together. So this my heart's big time into this right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I hear that. This is one of those projects that it trumps everything else. Here we go, man. We're doing it. Bam. One of those projects that you have to commit to like that. In that sense,
we got a lot to like work through, because I have songs covering about 25 years out there, and some of them are real standout. Other ones are good, and I'm also kind of rewriting parts to some songs, and so there's lots of material to pick through, and we know which one we're going to do next at this point. But there's hopefully this turns into a full album, and there's going to be some great songs, some really deep and powerful tunes on the album, when it's finished.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just kind of chipping away one song at a time.
Looks like we got Mick Michaels from Corners of Sanctuaries on. Sean McKenna's on.
Hey, brother.
Rooster's on.
Yeah,
those guys are cool, man.
Ever felt? Oh, we just tried to add those guys on. They're from down your way. Well, down the coast there on my side.
They're from Philly, I think.
Yeah. And internet issues on the one end there. So, but we'll have them on the playlist. I just shared up a bunch of their stuff, man. They got some good shit going on too.
I
definitely want to shout out to those guys, Corners of Sanctuary. We played the Operation Desert Scream with them, and after the show, all bands are different. There's different attitudes and personalities, but these guys came up, and I never met them before in my life, all 4 of them, and it was we were just good buds, man. We just hung out and talked and bullshitted after the show, and it was an awesome experience.
Yeah, meeting them. I've only met them online and done. You've been on the show a few times. We've crushed them up on the radio now a few times on our side. And then I'll ask you tonight, of course, can I play this song? Can I play this next time? Because I have a Concern of Sanctuary song as well. That's like, it's like grab your old lady 1990 style, slow dance with her and stuff. So to play those 2 in the same night, that'd be pretty cool on the radio. You know what I mean?
I was rocking about for Christmas here. They had some Christmas stuff.
Mick is king of the Christmas tune. Every year, and you guys need to check them out. Every year they put out a nice little EP, holiday album, and a merch bundle, and these are the nicest guys you'll ever meet. So this guy here got anxious going back to the Operation Desert Scream, right? So they were kicking off the night. They were ready to go. Corners of Sanctuary showed up. I went out to the front to greet them. All of a sudden, these fools, they said, we're not waiting any longer. They just started playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. People were just kind of crowded around waiting. And I don't know. It was like, I just kind of went for it. I was like, all right, let's go.
Yeah.
That was the best way to kick that show off right there.
I mean, that's how desert shows go, back in the early, I moved out to 29 Palms back in 97, and there wasn't much of a music scene or venues to play. So, people would take generators out in the desert and just kind of play out there. And Queens of the Stone Age, I think, got their start out kind of out the Palm Desert area, doing generator parties and stuff. And
right.
You just, when everybody's there, you just start playing. It's when everybody gets there, it's party time. That was probably where my mind was at.
Right, people were there, so boom, time to play, baby. We got the right. I'm looking forward to that this year coming down, and I'll be in the area. Then I might as well stop in. Maybe you can show me some properties, some land open. Like I need 10 acres at least, minimum. You know what I mean?
There's some out here. You come out near Havasu, I definitely hit me up. I live right in the center of the town. I'm a great tour guide.
Yeah,
hey, you know what? That would be a great thing to start for that area. Its own very own Coachella type festival.
Yeah. They have big, like they had a Rockabilly festival here just last week, and they have every year. It's huge.
Nice.
They have a fairgrounds here and stuff.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Lake Havasu is a really awesome place. It's kind of a hidden gem in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
There is a lot of music venues here. I'm starting to kind of my bookings are starting to fill up all of a sudden.
No, that's great. Great to hear that. Like the venues are opening up or popping up here and there now again. Like you said, even if it's just a desert show with some generators and 50 to 100 people or something, right? Like.
Right. I'm not above it. I mean, I started out that way, just playing, the Dirt Boys, we called the desert the dirt. So, we were the Dirt Boys,
Yeah, right. So that's so awesome though, man.
Lots of out in the desert parties. I could tell you 1,000 stories. We don't have enough time for all the stories.
Yeah. No, right.
I'm just reading some of the comments. Rooster said, "Those mofo are in the wild, wild west." LOL. Yeah, we are.
It is. It's what's left of the old wild west out here.
Yeah.
It ain't quite like the cowboy days, but it's what's left of it.
I think that's what the Dirt Boys strive to do, is to carry on that old school dirty shit, just make it more modernized,
Yeah. Well, you feel it in the music.
Yeah, sometimes I felt like Billy the Kid running around with the fucking regulators,
Yeah, right up.
Dirt Boys, man. All right, Dirt Boys, mount up, motherfuckers. We're taking this venue over. They're gonna let us play here again, so we're gonna play hard.
Right.
Yeah, no, we've had so many good times out in the desert, and, you can do a lot more what you want. There's not so many regulations out here. There's space. You can get away with throwing a really loud show without all the police showing up and all the neighbors and everything else.
That's our problem here. Even in the country, they're watching us now because it's getting bigger and bigger a little bit every year. And it's like, but. Yeah, and the county's cracking down is what it is. They're not getting a piece of the pie and shit. Is what they're bitching about, right? It's like,
yeah, I say get it while you can, man. Our freedoms are slowly getting taken away, and get it while you can.
No, exactly, right.
Into that.
When
are you coming down here, TJ?
I'll be coming down in give or take November on my next layoff, once spring and summer work the season, and then take all that cash I make working on the road here and buy land, bud, so I can start building stage. So
that's actually probably the perfect time to ever come to Arizona is going to be November.
Yeah. Summer ends towards the end of November here.
It's not quite in the 90s still in November.
Yeah.
It's creeping down to the mid 80s by that point.
Yeah, by the time it hits the 90s here, you're so damn glad it's only 90.
Oh, yeah, right. I know it used to get hot in Georgia and stuff, but my first time driving across the desert, man, I was like, my car's melting, dude. Like the shit just melted.
I honestly think Havasu is the hottest place I've ever been.
Perfect. Yeah, it's in the top 5 hottest places in the world. It's not too far from Death Valley either.
Wow,
which is, I think Death Valley is the record breaker in the U.S. for 134 or something. We had a 130 or a 132 a few years back. It's brutal, but it's, when it's nice, it's paradise,
Yeah. Like up here, like it was brutally cold, then it's brutally hot. And then the mosquitoes and black flies, like it's fucking. We party in the forest up here, right? So
out where I am, and Damien remembers this from his days here. It gets in the 40s with a little bit of wind, and we're like, there's no way I could handle it.
God, I gotta put a jacket on.
Yeah, I'm definitely.
He puts on a hoodie in Havasu if it's in the 90s.
A little cold out here.
Right. No, that's why that's gonna be my last winter, man, up here. And I'll come up here in the summers and work my season with the company I'm with. They're awesome, great people to work with and stuff. So but then I'm taking off, baby, going south to the land, right? Start throwing on festivals and fucking. I'm already looking at
Arizona's worth checking out. Right? It's growing, it's developing,
Yeah. And then driving the boss on the land. And when I'm down there, that's what I stay in for now until everything's done, got it all. It's it's coming together, baby. The dream.
I moved to Lake Havasu in a travel trailer and a truck, and me and the old lady and our son slept out in BLM land for about a month before we, found a little spot where we could kind of rent.
Yeah.
So, it's and now we got this is my front room here that I'm sitting in now. And now it's, so it's good. I love it here. It's where I call home. Hopefully I'll be traveling, playing music all over the country, but, this is where I call home.
Well, you got to have a home base, right? So,
yeah.
So Carrie says hello to everybody.
Hey,
Carrie. Rooster's watching.
Rooster.
We had the Corner of the Sanctuary boys on. Sean McKenna, who plays drums on Purple Flower.
Yeah, Sean. Nice, I did an interview with Sean here a little bit. Fellow Canadian there.
Nice.
He did the drums on Purple Flower. Man, knocked it out of the park.
Of course, Canadian, buddy. Best drummers in the world.
I have another good Canadian friend too. Right. Talented Canadians, man. Look at Rush.
Yeah, right. It's so cold. To play the drums, that's how they stayed warm in the winter, bud. That's why they're so good.
you guys, sticks on fire.
Yeah. It's
keep yourself warm.
I know it. It makes me think. I know a shit ton of Canadian drummers that are just out of this world. You got Sean. You got my buddy Dan Fila from Svengali. Mm-hmm. That guy is a fucking beast.
He was one of my first ever interviews on the Boneyard. We talked for 2 hours that day, man. It was awesome.
What a guy.
Oh, the guy's fantastic. Amazing inspiration, man. And I didn't even know at the time how amazing of an interview that was to have him on the show. What an honor,
He's a great interview. He's a great guy and one fucking beast of a drummer.
Yeah, man. But he was the one that put everything in perspective when it came to practice and what the hard work that it took, 10,000 plus hours, of doing something, right?
It's crazy to think about it, Bones. You've talked to so many bands from all over the world, and I think, I mean, unless you've been interviewing the Metallicas and Def Leppards and all that.
No.
Most of these guys that do what Damien and all our other friends do, they work a full fucking time job and oh, by the way, I'm gonna make an album in the process. I mean,
Yeah.
we all everybody I know that does podcasts, radio shows, they don't have the luxury of that being their only thing. I mean, we all
No.
got
I'm a cab driver at Lake Havasu. I'm the graveyard and night and weekend guy. I drive all the partiers around town.
I was gonna say,
he sees a lot of shit, I bet.
No doubt.
If you ever come to Lake Havasu and call a cab, you might get me out there on the bars at the weekends.
That's awesome, brother. Yeah, I'll be down here this winter, like this coming winter for sure, right? We're coming into spring now. It's like a couple more weeks, man, and it's starting to fucking just rain for a bit, you know.
We had snow out in Joshua Tree when I was out there. It snowed in Los Angeles, I heard. It never snows in Los Angeles.
Right? That was a crazy weather week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No doubt, But yeah, to talk to so many bands, basically, like very few of them just do it full time. Like Imperial Age, they're able to do it full time, but strictly through the fans. Like they're an unsigned independent band. They have the crowd fund that allows them to just make music for the band, like for the fans and stuff. But other than that, man, yeah, it's all us. Like I work. Well, once my season starts, but I can't do interviews till like 10 o'clock at night because I'm not even done work till like 9:30, depending on where I am in the country, right?
I remember, what was it, about a year ago or so? We had that interview set up, and everyone's like, "Where the hell is he? Where the hell is he?" Hour goes by, I'm like texting everybody, "Don't worry, you don't know what kind of job Bones has." So, and I didn't hear from you till like the next day. You had got hung up at work or something like all fucking night long.
Yeah, driving, bud. So we worked all day, and then we had to go to Thunder Bay, which is 12 hours away. So I worked till like 4 or 5 in the afternoon, and then we're going to Thunder Bay. It's like, that's 12-hour drive, but I got an interview in like 3 hours, man. Gotta go, man. It's like, got there like 4 or 5 in the fucking morning, man. And then up and at work for 10 in the morning on the roof, it's like, and then finally made up the interview that night, but like, it gets brutal, it gets hard sometimes, but you always kind of push through somehow. Like it's like you guys writing your music. My passion is getting behind the scenes and talking to the people, having a real conversation with people. But you guys play awesome music, and that's what connects us all together, right? Like,
yeah.
I think we're in the age now for me where, when you're younger, you just think of, oh, this is just a really cool band. But now you're at our age, 40s, 50s, and these are real people to you. These are like, and you look at these guys, girls as, whoa, this is a fucking awesome person right here, and they just happen to be a fucking talented person making music. It's a weird but really cool feeling,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's humbling in that aspect, especially we touched on it in my earlier interview there tonight about with age comes wisdom, right? Like just learning to, now that I've experienced so much, like I've been around the whole world pretty much right now, and just music has been my life for so long now. It's amazing the community that you meet through music, and the people you meet and the people you touch, whether it's for 5 minutes or 20 minutes with them in the pit, and then you're hogging them, you're drinking beers, and then you never see them again. But and some people you meet and it's a lifetime fucking deal. Like you're together forever now, regardless. Like you're always,
you get
Yeah.
really close to people you've never met or may never meet actually in person too. I mean, through this technology, I have to say it. There's a whole lot of downside to it, but the upside is connection.
Yeah.
And
And like I said, yeah, Doug, we've never met in person, but I know if he showed up in Canada, boom, you're crashing to my place, buddy. You know what I mean? Like,
that's exactly how I feel. That's exactly
know?
how I feel too, man.
That was a real interesting aspect behind a Purple Flower is that everybody that was involved with this recording was in a completely different region. Doug's out in 29 Palms. I'm out in Arizona. Jeff Westlake's out in Ohio. Sean McKenna was out, in Nova Scotia, and then we had Sam Bone who did the artwork, that you see in there, out in Florida. So, and we were all collaborating. We had this group chat, going, and we're all kind of collaborating through that and sending stuff to each other. But none of us had met face to face. We were essentially all strangers, and and this song, it came together, and I definitely want to give a shout out to Sam. She did some awesome.
Love you, Sam Bam.
The she's
artwork
phenomenal, man. Like,
yeah. There's in the start, towards the start of the video, there's a girl that that's drawn, and it looks almost like Ginger, who also appears. A picture of her appears in there. And now Sam had no idea who this girl was or anything about the story, and she managed to draw a picture of her likeness, and that's why I put it in the video early in the video, and then showed the picture of her later, because that was such a strange thing. And then the flowers on the hillside, like if you were to go to her grave, which is down by the Hollywood Hills, there's purple flowers growing on the hillside at the cemetery. Sam couldn't have known that, but she drew that up, and it was such a strange coincidence that, or maybe not a coincidence. I don't really believe in coincidences, but
that was
so powerful stuff there.
No, actually, Sam's how Doug and I met. I forget Sam come across the show or something somehow when I was just starting out, and then boom, it just blossomed mainly because of these two sending me bands for weeks or months, man. You guys filled my show
up. Hours of the day.
I know, right?
Much love to Sam. She's out there watching.
So sometimes
I'd like to
he would sometimes teach it. He'd be like, "It's like 3 a.m. here. What are you sending me right now?"
Yeah, right.
Always.
I love it though, man. I love waking up or oh shit, more music. Hit it, roll over, you pass out, right? Wake up, replay it, right? Listen to it throughout the day.
Right?
Yeah. I think what I know it's 7 where Doug's at. It's 7:20. It's 8:20 where I'm at. And, I don't know what time it is where you're at.
It's 10:18 here tonight.
10:18. Yeah, so we're all in different time zones right now.
Yeah. Well, that's the great thing about like the internet. Even though the white noise, there's still that you're still pushed through it, and we're able to do this right here. Like to even go into depth about the song. Like now, people when they hear that song, because they're gonna go check it out, we'll have it in the links. We'll update everything after the show here, man, and they'll know the power and the meaning behind that, and they'll know the passion that went into making even that. So
yeah. The songs that are going to follow up, I don't want to say too much, but we're working on a song called Diamond Jack next, and that one's really coming along well. But yeah, I'm seeing Purple Flower grow and move forward, and these the songs to follow are all really deep songs, and they're gonna be good tunes when they hit the public, and I'm already starting to see reactions from strangers, and I get messages and stuff here and there, and I really I love that you can do that these days. You're not just limited to just the people in your hometown listening, and that's a big step in music. That's a very recent development.
Well, I remember meeting Cold in a parking lot. They were handing out tapes after a show, Like
I like
here's
those days.
here's our tapes, then you hear it, you
Remember
put it
those
on your
days.
tape deck on the way home, you're like, wow, this is awesome. The next thing you know, they made it pretty big for quite a while there.
I had a couple that are albums, the 13 Ways to Bleed and Year of the
Yeah.
Spider. Those
Year of
good
the Spider
albums.
was, yeah, that was one of my favorites by them.
Yeah. I think that song "Suffocate" with the girl guest singer, man. I don't know. I was going through a thing, and that song
Yeah.
was my tune, man.
It's amazing how like music triggers those memories too. You hear a certain song and then poof, it takes you back to that concert or that moment in time where you were, say, in a restaurant that come on the radio while you're eating dinner or some shit. You can even flash back to the meal you had, or what you guys ate after. Like,
Yeah, that is a weird thought, but it's true. It really is.
Yeah. No, I have so many memories that I identify with different songs. It'll come on, it'll just take me back to a certain place, and certain songs snap me out of certain emotions that I have. I'll get down on myself, and I'll put on certain songs, and they give me strength again or
yeah,
courage.
you got to
All
be
that sort of stuff.
careful sometimes. That music will drag you down that dark hole sometimes because music is so emotional and powerful, right? And then you get
Yeah.
stuck in that hole. Like you said, you have to look for that other. Doing this show
Yeah.
broadened my music so much in the way I even look at and hear music now. Used to be just metal, and then, you know.
I almost got to have little prescriptions like, all right, I'm feeling down today. I'll be listening to some
Yeah.
Hendrix or I'm feeling spiritual. Let me throw some Tool on,
Yeah, right.
Or I feel like being aggressive, throw a little Metallica on that,
Yeah.
But yeah, such a big influence on our lives, consciously and subconsciously.
Yeah, you don't even realize sometimes, but it was music that made that happen.
Yeah.
So I just put Damien's DistroKid link up for everybody. That is
Oh, perfect.
basically our one page, and this has everything you can imagine. It's got the single, it has the video, all the interviews he's done in the process. It has just about every live thing you've ever done, plus the link to your YouTube anyway. So
Yeah.
I
Oh,
think
Yeah.
perfect,
set
man.
everybody up. The only thing we don't have yet is an actual website, but that's something that we'll definitely be
I
putting together.
still don't either, but probably
Well,
should get
the
one.
beauty
And
of all this social
We're
media
learning as
is
we go here, it's
yeah.
kind of new ground, the way that we're doing things, Yeah. So it's cool because
it kind of came from out of nowhere, so we're like kind of playing catch up right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's not even catch up, man. It's just rolling.
Yeah.
Sometimes it takes years. Shit, I haven't had a website in years. Like I've never had one for the page, which I should probably
probably
do.
don't need one.
I
You
wouldn't.
probably don't even need one. I mean, with all the
I
other
got
things you can do,
Yeah.
through DistroKid is just amazing.
Yeah, because like you said, I got a fucking lot on the go. Like I got to thank Moan. She just got us on Wednesday nights over there at Power 91, man. So we're the Wednesday
That
night
is
show now.
badass.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Purple Flower's been playing on Power 91 there.
Yeah, shout out
Already,
to Mr. Rock Dog, Doug Russ, if you're watching.
Yeah, buddy. I got
Thank
talking
you.
to him a little bit when they added us on. He reached out to me and was asking me about the show and stuff, and then we just got shooting the shit, man. So yeah, he's pretty decent, man. He's got a cool little fucking thing going on there too, right? So.
And he's never too busy for you.
Yeah, that's cool.
No,
Yeah.
Speaking of radio, a cool thing that happened with Purple Flower is it was played in the Joshua Tree, 29 Palms, the big radio station in that area, Z1077.
No.
And for years they would not have played a song like Purple Flower on that radio station back when I wrote it, and before that, and so it's been on there at least 5 times that I've seen now. It's been on that radio station, and that's really cool. Because there was a day and age where that radio station wouldn't have even let me on there.
We can thank Pat Kearns for a big part of that. That guy does a lot for local artists. He's amazing.
Now up here in my area, Christine Warner there runs Liquid Fire Radio, which you can find us there on the Saturday if you miss us on Wednesday. And then Pet Rock Radio, we've just became a partner with too, and they play us Fridays and Saturdays, I believe. But they're starting to open up and play more. We pick the music, which is the best part. Like when we come to the radio station, it's like, no, we're not playing your playlist, man. We have already shit between Doug, myself, even AP Records with the guys who I've teamed up and that's where the Backbone Hour came from, you know. Our list of music he's like, we've got to cut it off. We can't have like a 200 band list playlist. Man. Like, you gotta like kind of right. Never the same.
Great. You know, I've heard that there's like independent artists starting to pop up on like the Billboard top 100s and stuff. You know, these days. And that's, you know, kind of a new development too.
I love them for having that kind of money because you got to put some cash behind real radio stuff like that.
Oh, I know, right? Like,
it's should unreal. I say it's not real radio; it's mainstream radio. I think what's on the internet now is so much better than your mainstream FM radio.
100%, man. Like I said, they give us free range. They do pretty well with all the other DJs that are on the show, like Postman Dan, I think his name is, on Pet Rock Radio there, right? Like Alan Cross is on there now. Well, I guess he's always been on there. I'm not sure. He's a Canadian legend, right? Like that guy, and we follow him on the one night. I can't believe they allow our show after his show, but it's pretty awesome, man. Like it's the internet radio, though. You know what I mean? Like you won't ever hear none of the shit we do. You know,
I'm sure Damien would like to have an interview with you on that said show.
Oh, 100%, man.
Yeah,
we can now do call-ins too. So when we get into the studio next time to do our next batch in the next month of recording for the radio stuff, we can set it up. I can give you a call through the board, and we can do a quick little interview with you, and then play your music. You know what I mean? And then give people a little more insight on the music. Normally I'll babble and talk because normally I've interviewed the band already, so I already have some knowledge about the band. So we always make sure we give credit to the bands and stuff when we do play them, right? But it'd be cool to get you to call in and just talk about a song. We'll play your new run here now, right?
That'd be cool, yeah.
That's what I like too about this whole Zoom and all this stuff is when you do an interview. It's not really an interview. It's a couple of people just sitting around bullshitting, and it's I think that's badass.
Yeah.
Well, I like it to be natural and comfortable. Like
exactly.
Before I would drive to your house, like my very first band I ever interviewed, not a band anymore, but I drove all the way to Arizona, man, Tucson, Arizona, and interviewed them. Like I always wanted to do it in person at their place or their jam space or after the show at their home base, and that you get that relaxed, that no pressure, just shoot the shit, man. Like real people.
Yeah.
Like
that's true.
Yeah, like I'm just hanging out in my living room right now, It's,
right.
Let me see. I'll be quick. I'll show you here. See. Here's my drums jam, my little office.
Yeah.
Got my TV, some big rain and stuff here.
Yeah.
Is that your TV behind you?
Yeah, it's just like a YouTube background thing.
It's funny because
I was like, man,
I thought that was a window. And
Yeah,
I'm sitting there going, it is not raining in Havasu right now. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But it was a couple days ago, but no, it's not raining out.
I'm like, I don't remember there being that many trees in Havasu.
Right?
Yeah, no.
I was good.
Maybe a
Now
few
I put
palm
two and
trees.
two together. Yeah, you did the desert with the trees all in the background. That's crazy.
It's my wishful thinking.
Yeah. So for
All
the
right, so
future, man, with this new project, are you guys hoping to do like a tour across the U.S.?
yeah.
Wow, if we could just come
That's
to
great.
a mini tour of the West Coast, we'd be shitting bricks over that. So
Mm.
that would
Yeah.
be, I mean, that would be the ultimate goal there.
Well,
I think we'd
I'd like
all
to
agree with
talk
that.
to Spooky there out of Spellgrinder and bring a band or two from Canada here and put on a little something down your guys' way, right? So if we could
Yeah.
all
What's up,
shoot the shit
Spooky? If
about
you're
that,
watching,
right? Love Spellgrinder, great band. I just shared some of their music today up here, man.
I've heard
we
those
keep
guys. Yeah.
we're in the same town, and we keep wanting to meet in person, but we just, I don't know. It's
I
just
know.
this thing called having a job.
Easier
Yeah.
said than done
Fucks
sometimes.
that up every time.
Oh, I hear you, man. My roommate's like, you're the best roommate. You're here like once every 5 weeks. This is great. I'm like, yeah, sure.
One of these days, I want to collaborate with Travis Knight, man. You know, he's a really talented individual. I don't know if he still plays with Spellgrinder or not, but you
No,
know who I'm
he's,
talking about there?
Yeah, he's
Tragic.
that's a Tragic Night. He's doing his solo stuff now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That guy's got some good stuff. He does a little hip hop. He does some like alternative rock kind of stuff and punk.
Yeah. Me and him need to get
that's-
together and do like a song that we just write together. I can see that happening. You know, it would be totally off the wall. So hip hop, heavy metal, and all sorts of stuff. You know.
I'm
Oh,
telling you
yeah.
what, between some of the bands that I've met here, between the Shark Fins, the Dirt Boys, Daytime Moon, he films the clouds, all those guys, Spellgrinder. I mean, like I said,
Yeah.
I've been trying to meet up with Spooky now for a couple of
I
years,
know.
and we're
Last time I
literally
had
just
him
a few
on.
minutes. That's the funny thing. We're just a few minutes away, and we just haven't connected yet. But
That's
we will.
hilarious.
There's so much
Sticky
good
Doll's
music
another
here
really
that I
cool
never
band
realized.
out there
Mm.
too.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'll come down and we'll all have a reunion and meet in person. That's when we'll all meet together, man.
We'll call it Bones
I'm down.
Fest.
Right? We'll put on a show, bring some bands with us.
We'll make it a yearly thing.
Yeah, that would be sick, brother. That'd be
Me and Doug have been
fantastic.
trying to figure out a dirt fest with the Dirt Boys out the other day. We just haven't found the right venue to put it on yet. But that's
Come out to
something
the
we're trying
dirty
to
boneyard.
piece together.
Give me about a minute here to do a little editorial on what it is trying to get any of our friends, any shows anywhere.
Yeah.
Now, I'm new to this pretty much. I mean, this is all trial and error shit from me from the get go. From the first time I shared a Jeff Carlson video and what started all this thing. So I get a list of places, email, nothing. Email, nothing. A month later, it's, oh, we're not booking anymore. It's like, well, I fucking emailed you 2 months ago. I mean, why didn't you? Just if any venue owners are watching this, a courtesy email goes a long way. Even if you have no interest in booking us, you don't give a shit who we are or who we aren't, whatever.
Yeah.
Just
Say
a simple,
something. Yeah.
just a simple, hey, sorry, we can't. There are a few that have been super communicative and really cool. I'm gonna just name Bearded Lady. You guys rock. They're in Pahrump, Nevada. I gotta say, I gotta shout out to Froggies in Apple Valley. What the hell? I just shut you guys off for a second. There are there are some out there. Just communication goes a long way, no matter what we all do. And I think we need to unify here. There's a lot of competition, but there's also a lot of camaraderie, and we need to keep that shit going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I understand when I reach out to bands, I don't get an email right away. It could be a month or two before I hear back or whatever. And that's no big deal. But when I'm trying to set up venues for the bands, yeah, to reach out to these venues, and then you almost get a list of demands back sometimes, and it's like, what do you mean, man? I got to do this,
Yeah.
this. I can't afford all this, man. Like when I put on a show, it comes out of my pocket. I pay the bands, I pay the venue we go at, like make sure, and then I don't make any money off it, but I don't make a dollar from it. I just do it
No,
for
Yeah.
the
and
bands and stuff, man.
and that brings up the whole, this should be proof that the guys in independent music, everybody in independent music, they're definitely not in it for the money.
No.
Yeah.
Because if
It's a
you're in it
labor
for
of
the
love.
money, you better
No,
pack
right.
a fucking lunch if you're in it for the money.
Well, I'm looking at taking all that money I'm going to save at not renting at these venues and buying that land this year, and then I have a free venue that the bands can come and play at. Like here,
Yeah.
just come and jam, man. Like you want to sell tickets?
I'll back you
Here's
up,
your
man.
money. Like just come and play, right? Like sell your merch.
Yeah.
Fuck, I don't care, man.
See, I remember when we were organizing Desert Scream, and Damien was the first one to respond when I put a thing in the local Facebook page, putting together a show. A band's traveling from another state. We need some support, with equipment and all that stuff. He was the
Mm-hmm.
first one. Dirt Boys will do it. He didn't know a
Yeah.
thing. He didn't know a thing about us. He didn't know what we were doing. He had no idea what the fuck Desert Scream was. And he's like, count us in.
Yeah. That's awesome, brother.
I've always just been down to play. I've
Yeah.
played music for 25 years, and I've rarely made money really doing it. Here and there, I've made a little bit of money, but
Mm-hmm.
I do it because I love it, because I wouldn't know what the hell to do with myself if I wasn't doing music. So
Right.
that's where I come from. Yeah. If I get paid, that's fine. It's always nice to make a little, but I do it
Yeah.
because I love what I do, and that's
I
why I stay
usually, like,
original too.
our festival that we do now, this will be our third year since Jeff called me and asked me if I knew a couple bands. I was like, I get you a few bands, and then 3 years later, we've been cycling bands through. It's the private pig roast, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
the the bands get some cash depending on where they're coming from and all that, but it's mainly you guys get to eat, you get a place to stay, and a party to fucking play, man. Like it's phenomenal. Like the late night troubles come out. We've got Johnny No Cash this year, One in the Chamber,
Oh,
awesome
I love
band,
Late Night
right?
Trouble. I
Yeah,
love Late
man.
Night Trouble. They're from Montreal, right?
Yeah, they are.
Those are that woman can sing her ass off.
Oh, they're fantastic live, brother. Like you should come if you're gonna come to Canada, that's when you should come to Canada, brother. July
I
24th.
want to
I'll
check out
send you all the
Canada.
info. I'll send you all the info, right?
Yeah.
You should check out Johnny No Cash and One in the Chamber. Johnny No Cash to me is a Canadian like legend in that sense on his music and stuff, right? He's just like fantastic. When you hear it, you'll know what I mean. I'll send you some links after the show, right?
Yeah.
One in the Chamber, fantastic Toronto band here. They're local to me here.
Well, that's
So you
cool.
actually in Toronto, or are you
No.
somewhere in that area?
I'm in the general area pretty well, over by Barrie, which nobody knows if you don't live in Ontario. I'm a fucking Barrie, right? Like it's always Toronto. That's usually what you say, but Ontario's so fucking big, bud. We're like double the size of Texas, you know what I mean? So
Oh, okay.
yeah,
I've always wanted
take
to go to
you.
Canada, see the land, up there, and
Mm-hmm.
the Northern Lights. I've always wanted to see the Northern Lights. I've never had the chance to yet.
They're been rocking the last couple of days apparently up in Alaska and northern Ontario and stuff. Really good right now.
Oh, Yeah, no, I'd be into that. I'm a real big nature fanatic, you know. I
Yeah.
love going kind of out and just enjoying the world, you know.
Well, I thought about like buying up there, like way up north, you know what I mean? But then I'd have to cut down like a big chunk of forest, you know, to build my stage and shit. Just be rude, you know? I wouldn't want to do anything now. I just want to live in the woods on my land, right? Like get down in the desert and stuff where I'm not like tearing down trees and shit. Here's the stage, build some shade. I'll plant some local,
Arizona's good. You know, Maynard Keenan from Tool. You know, he made a winery. You know, out a few hours or so from here, and
Yeah.
he's there. There's like little private music venue kind of things there that he throws, and it's it's going. They also have the what's that kind of like Mad Max sort of like festival out here. I can't remember the name of it. And that sort of end of the world. I mean, Coachella, that started off with that, party in the desert, and it's where there's open land, there's definitely opportunity for their
the potential
music, concerts and stuff.
Yeah, because my ultimate goal would be a 3-day festival, with what I mean.
Yeah,
50 plus bands, depending, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Lake Havasu has a few venues that can do that. They have the Windsor Beach out here.
Yeah.
Maybe look into that.
Years and years in the future, man. Like I'll be a 60-year-old dude coming out on stage, but if I ever even reach that level of throwing the festival, right?
Yeah. Well, look at Woodstock, man. That was
right.
I don't think they expected that to go down the way it did.
That's what I was there, man. Like, I don't want that to happen at my festival, that's for sure. But that was a fucking riot, is all that was,
Oh, in '99. No, I'm talking about the one in '69, though.
Oh, yeah, '69 would be crazy to have been too, right? But
no, '99. What a disaster that was. I watched that documentary recently.
I still haven't. I got to check that out because I keep hearing it was a fucking train wreck.
When I'll share some stories of Woodstock '99 with you over a few beers in person, man. I got it tattooed on my calf. It's a little.
It sounded like it was a pretty brutal situation. When the documentary really breaks down the behind the scenes.
My one buddy had like 3rd-degree burns on his sock, like above his sock line, because there was no shade or nothing, but like. I was doing steel structures and roofing at the time, so I was already like pretty used to the sun and shit. But even by the second day, I was like wanting to just like I needed shade, man. It's like what the fuck? I just wish the sun would just go down,
Yeah. That documentary was something else, man. I had no idea it was that crazy.
Yeah, it was intense. It made me feel like shit for buying we paid a lot of money for our tickets, and then people just were walking in by Friday. Like they took all our water, our cooler, fucking everything from us on the way in, man. By the second day, people were coming in with cases of beer and shit. We're like, what the fuck? We got ripped off, man. But we made out. We traded some things for some things and got some other things, and then traded up for some more things. And then, we survived.
Yeah, like, hey, I got a beer for a sandwich, bro.
yeah, right.
A bottle of water, man.
That was insane, man. Life-changing experience, though, man. Definitely. I'll never be underprepared for something like that at a festival again, man. No way, man.
That was a learning experience, right?
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah. Life-changing.
Exercise and endurance,
Yeah. Right. Training.
Yeah.
Call it Death Fest, right? Because you might die.
Yeah, the biggest thing I went to the Mayhem Festival in San Bernardino around 2010 or 8, somewhere right around there. I forget what year it was. Yeah. And Slayer, like Killswitch Engage, Marilyn Manson, and But Slayer, man, when Slayer kicked off, I did not know what I was getting into, you know.
Right.
I knew Slayer and I'd seen, but just seeing 60,000 people lose their shit, you know, out of nowhere, especially when Rated Blood came on, it was fucking bonfires everywhere. I was in the pit, you know, I was hitting people, getting knocked around, you know.
Right.
It was crazy, man. That was one of my biggest, you know, crazy concert experiences.
Yeah. Yeah, I would definitely say Woodstock was the craziest one I've ever been to. But what was one of the best shows you've ever been to ever?
Best show ever for me. I saw Tool and Meshuggah at the Long Beach Convention Center in 2002. I think the last show of the Lateralis tour, or the last couple, and it was, my mind was blown, man. You know, I mean, not to mention that album was such a life-changing album for me, but to see it perform, they pretty much played the whole album through and just a couple other songs. I think it's on YouTube somewhere. You can find that concert. But I was right up front, man. You know, I could almost reach out and touch the guys, and just the laser lights and everything that was going on was so massive. You know, of course, I was really stoned.
Oh, they have a fantastic stage presence, man. Like,
yeah. And I like that, you know, Maynard is, you know, he doesn't have to be the showboat and center of attention the whole show. You know, he kind of goes back and he just, you know, Danny Carey and all those guys shine, you know, on the stage at different moments, you know, in time, and just such an awesome band to see live. I would say that was my best show. I've been to several shows, but like that, but that was the one I'll always remember the most, I think.
How about you, Doug?
Well, I have two different answers to that, and for two totally different reasons. Just because my most in awe concert I ever went to was well, obviously when Kiss did the reunion tour, I was all over that. It's been my lifelong favorite band. So to be there was amazing. The seats were shitty. So I would have to say when they did the farewell tour with all four original members still, they played in Vegas at Mandalay Bay, and I actually had like really close seats. That blew my fucking mind. These guys at the time that are in their late 50s doing what they did with that heavy gear on, I was like, no.
Yeah.
But on another, to answer part, well, you didn't ask two questions, but I would have to say on the same level, but a small show was the show we did back in April in Pittsburgh. It was Jeff Carlson Band, Westlake, and from Pittsburgh After the Fall. It was an RFL show. John and I had worked so hard to put that together as far as, the tour itself was planned with Jeff Carlson's guys, Nolan, Hodges, but the actual local show in Pittsburgh where RFL started was to have three different bands that I had been talking to through text and through Messenger to meet in person for the first time. Was what a night. Rooster, his brother, was there. He brought his fam because they're outside of Pittsburgh. These people we've been hanging out with and doing when Facebook used to let you do watch parties and stuff like that. To get everybody in the same room was just, and the music just, that was huge for me. It was right up there with Desert Scream. I mean, it was, I don't know. It's hard to actually put into words. It seems like the smallest thing maybe, but to me it was a moment that I'll never forget.
Yeah. Those are cool when, you know, things like that happen. You know, we had an interesting. I remember one time we got to Dirt Boys. We played in San Diego at the Brick by Brick. You know, which a lot of big bands go through there. We managed to scrape in and open for the band Orgy at one point.
Oh,
And that was a cool experience. You know, there was another band called Warpath that was there. They were kind of like Slayer, but they had like Indian war paint and all this stuff. And those guys were so cool with us. And Orgy, you know, we kind of got to beat them. The guitar player and the bass player actually hung out in the crowd and watched our part of the show. And then, you know, we kind of briefly got to say hello to them, you know, on the way out. And that was kind of a cool moment. I think that's where it really put in my head that, you know, some of these big rock stars, you know, they're just the average everyday people just like us, kind of behind the scenes, you know, and you know, they're not, you know, like these shining gods, you know, I mean, they are, but
yeah.
But you know, they're just, you know, dude, I'm just getting off the tour bus. I got to eat, you know, all this just regular kind of people beneath it all, and so that was sort of cool.
Well, it's something we brush on a lot. Life on the road, like they've been on the bus. You know, how long did it take them? Because they got a day or two between shows. You know, they roll in on the bus. They fucking starving. They got to do a show.
Where's a McDonald's, something, anything. You know?
Yeah, you know. But to get those back moments, that's why I always figured 3 days, and the bands come, they chill out. You know, you're not stuck in a hotel room. You can wander around. You know what I mean? Fucking. You don't gotta roll out the next morning at 7, you know, or 6, 5, depending, or get off the stage, jump on the bus, and then you gotta go. Like,
yeah. I remember they had a pretty good sized tour bus parked outside. You know,
no doubt.
They all came filing out of there in this little tiny green room that they have, kind of beside the stage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. that was a fun moment. That was back in 2000. I don't know, maybe 15 or 16, somewhere around there.
We'll have to talk about getting you up in Canada here to do the thing for us in July, man. I think you guys would go over real good with the crowd that's there.
Oh, I'd love it.
We will definitely need to talk about that because that sounds fucking amazing.
Yeah, I'm always planning. We've got this year's planned out and everything. I'm already planning next year. You know, you almost got to plan a year in advance already. You know,
yeah.
It's something we should definitely talk about for sure, brother.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, Damien, I was chatting with Mick, and we think it maybe December.
Yeah.
Desert Scream 2.
Oh yeah, I've been waiting for that Desert Scream 2 to happen. Yeah.
When's that? Give me some not inside information at the moment, but
we don't.
Let me know.
We've been talking about doing it at some point, but we don't. You know, finding the right venue for it and that sort of stuff hasn't really solidified. But as soon as Operation Desert Scream was over, we're like, we got to do this shit again. You know,
right?
Yes, that's like I said, 29 Palms venues. Listen up,
right?
Throw us a bone,
right? I just got to come down and buy my own land and start making it happen. You know.
Go pull some generators out of the dry lake bed.
Right.
I like an old junkyard, and we'll just rename it the Boneyard, and it'll be like a whole compound where you have a show and all these old cars and shit piled up everywhere.
Build a skate park over on the other pile.
There you go.
Right.
If you did that out here, we definitely know some people that are part of the local skaters that would be all over that shit.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah. That'd be sick. Have a whole weekend skate and party festival with bands and everything, right?
You know, they need more stuff like that in that area. You know,
they need more stuff like that in all areas, man. Like it's
everywhere, but like especially out the back of the these back roads out in the desert, man, where these poor kids, man, they don't have nothing to do out in places like 29 Palms, you know.
No, right? Come out, pay some of the graffiti kids to do all the artwork inside the venue and stuff, you know what I mean? Give them a reason to fucking not trash it later. You know,
Yeah, I
if you're
think that
gonna
works.
tag it, I might as well pay you to just do something awesome for me, though. You know what I mean? Like,
I think that works, and I think
right?
that's the way people need to think nowadays.
Give back to the community. Like, I'm not into sports and shit, man, but I love music. So why don't I give you a venue to play any and all artists in the area, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Come and play. Like, you want to set something up? Sit down. We'll talk about it. Let's see what you got in mind, right? Like, I got a stage. I got a spot for you. Soon. It's coming. It's coming.
We could do a giant, one big whole weekend of open mic type shit too.
That'd be sick, man.
Just have a
That's the
backline,
one thing, man.
of equipment.
Right.
People
I can
just get
tell
up
you.
and play.
Right.
Went last Wednesday at this open mic night, and you see, yeah, I mean, you get a little bit of, you get the Dirt Boys, but then you get these people, the guy with that A-frame, which I've never
that
heard
was
of before, and then the guy with that Asian flute of some kind, and then just it made me really think, God, there's some really fucking talented people out here in the desert that you're never gonna hear.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. God, I have a few friends scattered out in that desert that don't play live, they don't record, they're not on the internet, but I know some guys that are just master musicians that you cannot find anywhere else. Just guys that I know that live out in the desert, and,
yeah. Sit around a campfire and play guitar. That's about it, But,
yeah, it's crazy. The desert, I think there's a lot of boredom that comes with living out in the desert for, especially summers, because you can't be outside, man. You hibernate during the day and you come out at night. There's not a lot going on at night. And people take up little hobbies, they start making noise on this instrument or that instrument they have laying around, and they get really good at it, or they just they get really into it, and it's the heart that comes out. They might not be a virtuoso or something, but just such heart, and raw emotion comes out of some of these people that are just sitting out in the desert playing music, to keep sane. Yeah, really interesting stuff.
Well, brother.
I was about to say, man, I gotta be up in a couple hours, man.
This guy, you can see him. It's what? It's almost 11 where you are.
Yeah. Coming up on 11 now.
Slowly nodding off. But this was fun. We got to do this again. I'm thinking when the next single drops, we'll do this again and maybe bring on the whole crew. Everyone.
That'd be awesome, brother.
Right. See our progress, in our endeavor here.
Mm-hmm. No, I look forward to it.
Mr. Westlake. You are the man. That's all I can say.
Huge shout out to everyone, man, that's watching, that pays even attention to my little bit of media coverage on fucking music, I guess. We're small but very loyal group here, right? So
it's a family, it's a fraternity, it's a family. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm going to be introducing you to some more people that I've met in this whole process. There's a guy in Apple Valley that Damien's going to be doing. I'm not going to go into the details until it's 100% locked in. But a guy named Mike Storm up in Apple Valley. He's a rapper. He's a entrepreneur. He does it all. He's making our T-shirts. And real talented guy. I want to introduce you to him. He's real good with organizing shows out there too. So. Oh,
excellent, man! Because I'm really looking to expand on being able to do like small tours for bands, take you here, take you there.
Another shout out to another guy in that area, BG Goodrich, local band Smokeout. Check him out. The dude is badass.
He did the Purple Flower reaction video.
Yes, he does the best. He does the best reaction videos you'll see.
I know so many people ask me, hey, you got to do a reaction video to this and that. It's like, I don't have time, brother. Like, usually I'm listening to it while I'm at work, you know, like, I can't film myself dangling off the edge of the roof. Ah, yeah, reaction video to this song.
All right, brothers. It's been great talking to you both tonight, man.
Fantastic, man. You guys, Doug, you know you're always welcome on the show no matter what. And same with you, brother. Like, I look forward to hearing more music. And this coming November, man, I look forward to meeting you guys all in person, man. We'll hit up the pub and we'll take the pub over for the night.
There you go.
Do an invasion party. Right.
Hey, we're just getting started, man. We're gonna start spitting them out at some point here.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it, guys.
Good night, everybody. Thank you all. Rooster, it was awesome seeing you on.
Yeah.
Harry,
play it loud.
Jen, all you, everyone. If
everybody,
I missed you,
man.
I'm very sorry, but thank you all for watching.
Every time. Play it
Don't
loud.
You stay safe up there, man.
Always, man. Spring's coming, baby.